Everybody, welcome to another episode of Beyond the Benefits. I'm your host, Mark DeFee, and with me is my co-host, Zoe Kobrin. And today we are going to be talking about something that's pretty timely, something that came out in the new year. SHRM put out their quarterly magazine, SHRM, the Society for Human Resource Management. And one of the first things that's on there is a letter from the CEO or an article from the CEO. And we wanted to kind of talk about that because of how he starts the entire thing. So this is Johnny C. Taylor, the longtime CEO of SHRM. And he starts his entire article with a question. Want to retain your best employees? Promote their wellness year round.
Yeah, and it really, it says so much in so few words, right? About just, when employees are getting their needs met, they're emotionally, physically healthy, they're more likely to stick around and be more productive as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have those like us who are like, woo, we've been
right.
this from the rafters for a long time. But what I really love about what he says is he starts with the business case, helping companies understand this is a strategy for retention, which I think is required for the largest audience to pay attention.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then it's just that question of, okay, you've got our attention. So now how do we do that, right? Like, how do you translate that into those daily actions?
Absolutely right. It's nice to, talk about this, but how do you actually implement it? And the importance of doing that can't be overstated, but we also can't just deliver the same message over and over. It turns into white noise. People start getting, yes, we get it. Mental health counseling is important, but to be able to keep our messages fresh, I think helps people pay more attention. But the cadence is important and doing it consistently, but changing up that message is important. And that's easy for EAPs to do because there's so much we offer. And oftentimes people don't know much about it.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. I mean, some of those services like our, legal and financial services, for example, almost everyone I know could benefit from those free consultations at some point, and yet they're really underutilized.
They really are. And that's a great one because all the data shows finances are the biggest stressor in employees' lives. And these are free financial and legal resources available to them.
Exactly. And the other thing is that they tend not to have stigma attached to them, right? This is just something we do every day, things that we have to, we talk about paying bills, budgeting. And so sometimes bringing people toward the EAP with those lower stigma, kind of very practical resources, whether it's actually having a consultation with a financial educator or it's just going on the website to take advantage of the savings center or some of the online tools, the different tax tools that we have on the website. So and these are commonplace for EAPs, right? This is pretty standard. So sometimes really highlighting those things, again, it's just the way to get people in the door. And I can't speak for all EAPs, but I know, for example, with CCA, people can really have unlimited consultations with our money coaches, and they can help them with planning, making a budget, planning to buy a home, helping to make a plan to pay off credit card debt. We also have certified financial planners and other professionals we refer to if someone really needs a very specific type of support, a person licensed in their state. So, we can really help with everything, identity theft. And, very often if someone's working with a money coach, it might be, okay, why don't you take this week, do X and Y, let's regroup, see how that went. And so it's just really nice for people to have that source of support.
Yeah, especially when you're not exactly sure where to turn. And
Right.
again, it's so timely because not only is it the biggest stressor in employees' lives, data showing as a nation, we're spending more and saving less, and we don't feel like savings accounts are keeping up with inflation, so we're not putting as much money aside. But there are easy ways that financial or money coaches can help you figure out how to build those savings during kind of any economy. And so it's just so important. But people also need just practical ways to make a paycheck go further. And I'm going to take this one because I absolutely love the savings center.
I know you do.
People within CCA like laugh at me. I bring so much, but it is something that goes so underutilized. So two quick things. Over the summer, my wife and I took our kids to the movies. It was the opening weekend of, I think, is it Despicable Me 4? I think
God,
that's
I
like
won't
one
even
out there.
probably want to. Yeah.
Opening weekend, tickets were crazy for a family of 4, just for tickets, it was $96. But
Wow.
hopped on our savings center, and the price afterwards was $47, like 47 and 80 cents or something, but, that's almost a $50 savings there. That is practical, if you wanna go take your family out. So these are the things that need to be promoted for all the reasons you just mentioned. But we also have some, like, legal resources on there and some tax resources. Tell us about those.
Right. So we have a lot of legal forms that people can easily download, things related to making wills, power of attorney. And so it's just a nice, you know, one-stop shop. You don't always have to actually go through an attorney. So there are things like that. There are also financial calculators that will help people determine how much they would need to save each month in order to reach a certain goal.
Yeah.
A lot of different ways people can self-serve on the website.
Yeah, that's huge, being able to do it on your own time,
Yeah.
and then you get those consultations with an attorney, a 30-minute free consultation per issue. You even if you need to retain one, you get a discount on their
Right.
services, and it yeah, like, we have the free Quicken Will Maker on the website, that $250 value for free, but you can
Mhm.
also call in to consult with an attorney saying, "Here's the will I put together. Is there anything I should also add or modify or whatever?" Uh, I see it a lot, though, for reactionary things. My
Mhm.
landlord just, said, "I am on the hook for this amount of money," or "I'm being evicted. What are my rights?" Or "I've been in a fender bender, and I don't know, what I need to do to prepare for my day in court," or whatever. Like,
Exactly.
the unexpected is oftentimes where this benefit is the most useful.
Exactly. It's a really helpful guide, a starting point. Yeah.
Mhm. So those are just kind of two of the non-clinical services, the financial and the legal. But we also have this whole work life piece to EAP that I think is kind of murky and gray sometimes. People will go, "What's that mean?" Work life resources.
Yeah, well, sometimes when I describe this to people, I say it's almost like having a personal assistant, right? So someone who can do all of those things that you could do yourself, but that you probably don't have time to do because you're working or maybe you don't want to do it. I as an example, remember I was getting ready to move and I wanted to research which moving companies would offer me the most competitive rates, but I just really didn't have the time or the bandwidth. And so I had the EAP do it for me, and they just came back with a nice list. They told me who had availability. And so they'll really do everything short of actually like booking looking for you. And really they'll research and provide referrals for whatever somebody needs. So whether maybe they're thinking about buying a new refrigerator and they want to know like, which brands are getting the best ratings right now. So it's something that every single person could use probably every single day. It's this unlimited benefit that's just really not being tapped into. And especially for people who are just, we're all busy, we're dealing with competing demands on our time. And this to be able to offload a task that maybe you don't even really enjoy doing to a professional is just such a gift.
It really is, and it's an extra set of hands that can give you some
Mhm.
time back and do the mundane things that aren't as much fun. Uh,
Mhm.
and and I know I probably said this before. I was on the ops side for 10 years, and I remember there was a period of time where like we talked about it in the call center, that there was a lady who called in, at least once a week, typically a couple times a week, driving in her way to work. She just had the EAP number stored in her phone, and she had like, the wire or the hands free, just call the EAP. And she would just give us tasks to do for herself. Hey, my son needs to get into summer camp this summer. Can y'all work on a list for that for me and email it to me? And so she knew it would take a day or two to get to her, but she just had this pipeline going of tasks that she gave us. And it was just driving to work. And it
Yeah.
was, stuff you could think of. Hey, we're trying to plan a vacation. I want you to put options together in Hawaii,
Mhm.
in California, or whatever. Uh,
Right.
and it was just so smart and so savvy of her to just use us on a consistent basis. And she made it part of her daily routine, or at least her weekly routine. On the office, I need to call the EAP because I need them to do X.
That's so great. She's like our poster child.
Really? Yes.
It's low key. And I think it's also is important to mention that, social determinants of health, like those things play such a big role in physical and emotional well-being. And this is an area where our work life specialists really help a lot, whether it's connecting people to local food pantries, local maybe hardship funds, temporary housing. So I remember once we had a request. I think somebody needed to go for medical treatment and didn't have a way to get there, so helping to research transportation options. So it's really such a wide range, of ways in which they can be of assistance.
And I like telling people there's no wrong reason to call the EAP
Uh,
because at minimum, we can do research on the right place that
Mhm.
you can receive the services that you're looking for. If it's something that the EAP can't cover, we can at least run down, who can do that for you. So there's never a wrong reason, even if you're not using EAP services, we're gonna provide you information that leaves you better than when we first spoke to you, I guess.
Exactly.
Well, you and I are pretty big EAP nerds, so we could go on for quite a while. But while we say goodbye to our listeners here, we thank y'all for listening. Like we talked about, promotion is important. It needs to be consistent. There needs to be a normal cadence. Take it not only from us, but from Johnny C. Taylor, the head of SHRM. And so thank you for spending this time with us, listening. And Zoe, I'll just ask any final thoughts before we get out of here.
I think you summed it up well, and I'll just second that. Thank you, everyone, for your time.
Yeah, thanks everybody. This has been CCA's Beyond the Benefits podcast, and we will talk to you next time.